Hi there, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for May 2022. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a session with me, you just need to go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can simply follow the links in the down bar below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, engagement helps this channel out a lot. So what's going on when it comes to your May? Well, let's talk about the sun. Where's the attention, enhancement, and support going, and where's it coming from? We have the sun in Taurus through the 20th of the month, your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, station, prominence, promotions, and the mark you make on the world. And with the sun here, we are increasing the profits and the yield from what you get for your efforts in your line of work, in your business, in your workforce, at the office. The sun is bringing attention here, and so you are noticing that not only are things starting to yield you more profit or yield you more money, but if you have been feeling as though a lot of your efforts have gone unnoticed, or what, makes you you, or what you bring to the table that is unique has been passed over, this is creating a bit of a correction experience to that. In fact, what is setting you apart from the crowd is actually an advantage. It's an asset, and which is kind of funny because we're just coming out of a decade where everyone was kind of narcissistic and addicted to getting mirrored and seeing themselves in other people. And so now what sets you apart is an opportunity for you to be promoted, to stand out, to be lifted up. In fact, a lot of you are going to find with the sun here, you are getting more value for it. And this is going to put you large and in charge in a lot of ways that your company or your business or your field is evolving as far as its social, professional, and cultural sensibility is concerned. This is also a time with the sun in the 10th house where you may be noticing people are trying to get you to increase the yield or the value that you are getting from the work you put out there. If you work for yourself, some of you may be raising your prices. Raises for those of you who are maybe not working for yourself are also going to be put on the table. A lot of beautiful incentive opportunities are abundant. After the 20th, we have the sun entering Gemini for the duration of the month, which is your 11th house of friendships and social networking, your platonic support system, your loftiest goals and ambitions. And with the sun in the 11th house, it's a time for all kinds of new contributions to come to you through social interactions. We are strengthening your community, fellowship, brotherhood, sisterhood, all across the board. And with the sun here, you may be finding that people are lifting you up through their own favor, through their own work. Crowds are coming around you. You're not really going it alone. This is a time to also strengthen bonds with friends and with allies that are true blue that maybe you've become a bit distanced from. In fact, the sun in Gemini, the last 10 days of this month and going on into June is helping you with a lot of, new glue to strengthen bonds that you have not had a chance to fully engage in. So we're getting a real strong sense of that chosen family coming forward for you. And a lot of them are also, whether they are new or already known, bringing contributions to help you realize or physicalize some kind of deeply held ambition or goal, something that has been with you your whole life. Not something superficial, not something that's just a trend, not something that's just a phase, but something that belongs to you. And a lot of people are showing up to make it so. We have Mars, the planet of action, passion, energy, that obstacle clearing driving force in Pisces through the 24th of the month. This is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as intimacy, erotic expression, but also your self-employment earnings. It's a house that doesn't really know what it wants, or it kind of covers just a little bit of everything. Now, with Mars in the 8th house, this is a time where a lot of you Leo people are going to get a chance to explore, let's just say, some carnal inclinations with a lover, whether it's somebody you're currently coupled with, or for those of you who are maybe single or available, and reach a new place of erotic satisfaction with one another in such a way where we are losing our inhibitions a little bit. We are letting ourselves be completely vulnerable with each other and experimental. This is a type of adventurous nature that could be a little bit scary because you are giving yourselves exactly what you want. And you may even have to face your fears about certain things that you desire. But this is going to be very enhancing to a lot of romantic relationships. For your financial side of things, Mars is raking in the dough when it comes to any kind of supplemental income or self-employment monies that you've got going on, whether it's sales, commissions, tips, incentive programs, you name it, as well as, again, self-employment ventures are on the rise. Small business stuff is becoming big business in a sense, but you want to keep in mind with Mars in the 8th house that if you are trying to, say, get investments or venture capital, borrow money, or even go for things like mortgages and loans, you don't let your eyes be bigger than your stomach. Mars helps you to qualify for pretty much everything you want, but Mars can sometimes put us over the top, and we don't need to borrow or take on more than we really need, because that's just going to be more complications down the road. After the 24th, Mars moves on into Aries, your 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, culture, your reach, your spiritual path, and practice. And with Mars in the 9th house, there is this shattering going on of a lot of commitments, a lot of policies, a lot of containments and bubbles that you have been operating in or maybe capitulating to, right? Maybe you've just been forced to operate under them. Whether these are things that have been restricting your movements in terms of your career, your academic life, your spiritual practice, travel, it doesn't matter. Mars is helping you. This is also a time where a lot of you are getting a great deal of help in escaping a lot of contracts or commitments or attachments that are keeping you bound to a certain time or space in your life that you wish to extricate yourself from. And you may be finding that Mars is bringing a brilliant helper along to do that as well, with and for you. We have Venus, the planet of love, affection, favor, and popularity in this part of your chart as well. And Venus is here pretty much the entire month from the 2nd of May through the 28th of May. And with Venus in the 9th house, you are noticing that you are becoming quite well known, right? We talked about a bit of popularity with the Sun in Gemini, but with Venus in the 9th house, now we're talking about your reach. Now we're talking about people that you can connect to, or how magnetic your works, what you're putting out there is to the general public. And so those of you who are looking to create awareness around something or to popularize or promote yourself or maybe your business or your online presence, Venus is great here. This is also a time where a lot of you are delving into a lot more spiritual activity with your partners or romantic partnerships, whether this is maybe a bit of an awakening moment or a very powerful spiritual era for a romantic partner or a spouse, or for those of you who are available to somebody new, this could be a profound spiritual journey beginning with somebody new or somebody recent. However, with Venus in the 9th house, we have to be open to things that are going to be a little bit foreign to us because things tend to come to us from outside of our script and our culture and our norm. So those of you who are in existing relationships may also be noticing that your partner is starting to be a lot more brave, a lot more courageous about stepping out of their bubble as well, and maybe in taking more inspired action when it comes to the relationship, both in your romantic capacity, social, and spiritual. And you may be finding that new people are also prompting that from you as well. Mercury, the planet of communications, haste, and productivity, is direct in Gemini through the 10th, retrograde in Gemini from the 10th to the 22nd, and then retrogrades all the way back into Taurus, where Mercury retrograde will remain until June 3rd when Mercury turns direct. So we're going to take this one at a time because that was a mouthful. Mercury direct in your 11th house of friendships and social networking, Gemini, is all about speeding up the accomplishment of some kind of major goal or ideal that you may have set for further down the line. So if any of you Leo people are those types of people that like to get attached to a 5-year plan and staying on that schedule, screw it, you're getting something better. You're actually going to get a chance to move something up. Something that you set for further down the road is going to be able to be accomplished in far less time with the help of your friends, with the help of your network, with the help of an expanded connection, that ultimately I feel is going to either put you in a fast lane or help take care of a lot of the middle of the alphabet steps for you. And so we're going to get a lot of this started between the 1st and the 10th of the month. It might not all get accomplished in that first 10 days, let's be realistic, but we are moving something up that we had set way out in the future. From the 10th through the 22nd, Mercury retrograding through your 11th house is actually quite sweet on you, right? We can't go black and white thinking when it comes to retrogrades. Actually, you probably shouldn't do black and white thinking and do astrology at the same time ever. And with Mercury retrograde in the 11th house, it's going to be a very sweet reunion experience for a lot of you. In fact, with Mercury retrograde in the 11th house, you're getting a chance to reconnect with your roots, old friends, old allies, people that you are also on good terms with. Really, it's a homecoming experience, especially if you feel like you've maybe been adrift or you got caught up in some weirdness this last few years, or maybe you are looking to get back in touch with yourself and you've got your rocks that can always bring you back there. This is definitely a time. This is for that, as well as with Mercury retrograde. These reconnections and reunions are also closing distances between you and those that you sorely miss among your fellows, your brothers and sisters, from other mothers and all of that. This is a beautiful month. And in fact, this retrograde, as I said before, is quite kind to you. After the 22nd, with Mercury retrograding all the way back into Taurus, your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, station, promotions, and all of that good stuff, Mercury retrograde is bringing old career prospects back on the table for you. Old roads that you could have taken. Old corners of your industry, or maybe even old vocations that you would like to switch back to. Maybe you kind of played around with different kinds of services or different industries or whatever, different fields, but you're thinking about doing something else. This is going to be a time to entertain that because they're valid. They're totally coming back online. However, this can also be a little bit frustrating with Mercury retrograde in the 10th because you may find that when it comes to the job, and it's very similar in any kind of work or financial area, Mercury retrograde in a work area like this, we can have a lot of problems sometimes show up with clients, customers, and colleagues. People not doing their due diligence, cultural or social clashes, communication issues, personality clashes coming on strong. And it can be a time where you're just going to need to be extra on the ball. We have Jupiter making a very special move this month. Jupiter, the planet of wealth, expansion, novelty, and luck, is moving into Aries on the 10th, where Jupiter will be through the 28th of this month. And not this month, will be through the 28th of October 2022. So May 10th to October 28th. And with Jupiter in your 9th house of higher education, government legal proceedings, travel, culture, all of that good stuff, you are getting a chance to take off. There are some big moves coming your way throughout the course of this year that are giving you a chance to ship off. This is great for those of you who are thinking about making some big travel moves, or you are thinking of relocating altogether. A lot of you are also going to find with Jupiter in the 9th house that there are some powerful alliances, very lucrative financial or professional alliances coming your way. Those of you who are currently in school may find that you are landing a dream job opportunity so that you can commit to it right before you finish, right before you graduate and enter the workforce. You've already got something gorgeous set up. This is also a time where a lot of you are having a much more profound spiritual experience because Jupiter is also a planet of knowledge. Your spiritual life is really leveling up here. You may be finding that this is bringing you a much more complementary and compatible, organic sense of tribe when it comes to your social life versus maybe what you've been working without in recent history. And a lot of you are also getting a chance to make a big score financially with a big launch, whether it's somebody else's big launch you're getting a part of, or it's something that you are finally ready to do in business for yourself. And this really does add to that fame energy as well that we saw with Venus in Aries. And even if we're just putting in the work right now, it's going to have some big payoffs between now and the 28th of October, and it's even going to get bigger as we go into 2023. And pay attention because there's also some thematic life cycle shifts going on here as well. We've got a 12 and 24 year goal and cycle resurrection going on. You're going to be taken back in time thematically. So maybe do some introspection. Think about 12 years ago, 24 years ago. What was going on in your life? What was presenting? What life paths, lifestyles, or any journeys that you were getting set up for success with that could still be yours to claim? Because Jupiter will be presenting those as well. We have a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio on May 16th. This is your fourth house of home, family, your roots, the domicile, anything relating to home economy. And this is all about culminations, transitions, and endings. And a full moon lunar eclipse is an extra powerful full moon, right? This is going to be, instead of leaving a 2-week window of influence, this is going to be influencing you Leo people from the 16th of May through mid-August. And a full moon lunar eclipse in the fourth house can indicate a lot of you are getting on the move. So for those of you who are aspiring to move or make a major home purchase or sell a property or do any kind of very big real estate transaction, this is here for you. Remember back when I was moving like once a year for 3 or 4 years there back in the mid-20 teens? I had a full moon lunar eclipse in my fourth house every goddamn year. Okay, so that is the kind of energy we are seeing here. But every time you move, it's like a step up. This is here for you. If you're not thinking about a move or you're not hoping for a move, this can also be really good news as far as a big break when it comes to family economy, spousal contributions, or your earning power, your savings, your investments that you've made for the long term going through a dramatic spike. And a lot of you may also find that this is bringing about the end of some kind of shadow or burden that maybe your household or your family has been living with or dealing with for a very, very long time. Finally, to wrap up this video, we've got a new moon in Gemini on the 30th of the month, opening up a 2-week window period. So this is your 11th house of friendships and social networking, and a new moon is all about seed planting, new beginnings, and initiations. And with a new moon here, you are getting a whole new round table, new social circle. This could come in the form of known friends and allies and new friends and allies converging around you. There's a huge transformation to your sense of community. This is also a great time for those of you that are maybe looking to attract new friends or new community in your life just altogether to add to what you have, or to move yourself into a whole new community or whole new life path with new friends. And this is also going to be a time with the new moon in the 11th house where some kind of very important investment in you is going to be getting made that's going to help enable, fund, or supply you with the means you need to take a very important journey towards one of your lifelong goals in the near future. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.